Hi, and welcome to the Thriving in Higher Education Career Podcast. I'm Dr. Yvette Myrick, or as you know, just call me Yvette.
And my name is Dr. Estelle Young, and call me Estelle.
So today we're just going to talk about how we came together. Estelle and I know how we came together, but you may not know. So we're just going to talk about collaboration as our topic. And we don't really need guests because we think that we're the greatest collaboration story out there in the world. Uh, so we just want to share how we came together and give some feedback on that. But we're keeping it very loose today. It's very informal. We're just talking to you all about how we came together. So basically, we just started about 15 years ago, I guess. We were working at a college in Maryland, and I was a retention coordinator, and I was working on an early alert. And Estelle came in my office and she was talking about her students, and she was really passionate about her students and the progress. And we started a conversation, we connected, and we decided after that point of working on an early alert, we had that connection. We went on to different colleges, different jobs, but we always stayed connected. So we decided to continue our collaboration. But that's how we met each other. Anything you want to mention, Estelle, about us meeting or anything like that?
I do. Well, I have a ton to say about it, and I'm really excited to share this experience with our listeners because collaboration, I think, is probably the number one thing that's kept my passion up in higher education. It's being together with people who have a really positive and proactive spirit, and they in keeping their own faith, they're like optimism is infectious, and it keeps you going as well. And Yvette is definitely that kind of person. So yeah, so we met 15 years ago. I was a faculty member, and Yvette was a retention coordinator, and neither of us could do our job without the other, really. And so I came and we were talking about a specific case of a student or two, and then immediately we started to think larger, like how could we make this early alert system working together work for many more people, work better. Um, and uh, I think that collaboration is a strategy, and I almost feel like it's a little gold mountain within higher education. It's a strategy to ensure that you maintain that, that committed, dedicated, idealistic spirit with which you started in higher education.
And
Mhm.
mhm. Oh no, you can go ahead, Estelle.
No, so that was just the first thing, and it
Mhm.
just spiraled into 15 years, pretty much solid, of collaborative activities. And I think by sharing some of those today, that can give other people, really inspiration about how simple it is to start, and then what magnificence it can build into.
Yeah, and I'll just mention, this is a little bit aside from the collaboration part and how we met each other. And I don't even know if I told you this, Estelle, but I remember my first day at that job at the college, university, and I went in there, and it was a staff of two retention specialists and a retention coordinator. And I was hired as the retention specialist, and I assumed that the first day I would get to know my supervisor, the retention coordinator. And I remember the very first day of work, I was called into my supervisor office, and the dean and the VP said, "Well, things didn't work out with the retention coordinator. Would you like that job?" And I was like, "Okay." I got a promotion on my very first day at work. I went from the retention specialist to the coordinator over the department. I'm like, "Sure, I'll take it on." I was like, I wish all my jobs was that easy. Your first day, you get a promotion. But that worked out very well. It really did help me. And I became the coordinator and was overseeing the retention specialist. But yeah, from there, like I said, we took different career paths, but sometimes when you meet people at your jobs, you build that connection. And sometimes, as you know, through collaboration, you may have a choice. Your boss may say, find some other people that can help you with this project. Or sometimes you don't have a choice at every job. You are in a collaboration where you have to work with people in different departments, different units, different areas where you have to collaborate together. You part of a committee or whatever you're working on. But I was lucky enough, as Estelle said, we had a connection and we met each other and we really connected. From there, we went on to collaborate on other things. We took that collaboration at that job and we stayed connected, even though we went out to different careers, but we always stayed connected somehow with each other. And that's the thing I would recommend to anybody is, as you get to know people in your different careers and you work on things with others, just because you may leave to go to another job, still stay connected with those people because you never know what can happen. So after we left or moved on, neither one of us are working at that particular university anymore, but we stayed in contact and we worked on other things. And one of the other things we decided to do was to do a blog. We said, well, we got all these years of experience, all this education and working with students in different colleges and universities, and let's put that all together in a blog. And neither one of us knew about anything about a blog at that time. Remember, this is many years ago. We didn't know anything about what a blog was. But we decided to take that journey together. Let's learn what a blog is. Okay, we know what a blog is now. Let's create one. And we had to set up accounts and things like that. But it was something we wanted to do together. And then we created this blog, Thriving in Higher Education Careers, and on the blog, we wanted to be informative. We wanted to put spotlights and articles and tips and things like that. And one of the things that I recommend to anyone is when you take on major projects, sort of when you collaborate, try not to make the other person feel like they are doing everything because that's not fair. If one person is taking on all the responsibility. So when we did the blog, we try to divide it up. We said, well, you do an article one month and I'll do the article and tips the next month and things like that. So that's sort of how we transitioned from working at the college to collaborating on doing the blog. Estelle, you want to add anything to that?
I do. I want to add a couple of things to that because one of the reasons that we did the blog was actually a failure. We had tried to write and publish an article and we'd worked really, really hard and sent it to various places and were not successful. And so then we thought, well, a blog is self-published. So let's get the experience writing. Let's get our writing out there by doing the blog. So that working together made the kind of riskiness of trying something new like that and the time consuming element of that made it much more possible. Well, I know that for sure. I wouldn't have tried that on my own. But the second thing I want to say about the blog is that that was the first time that I was really introduced to the full scale of Yvette Myrick's work ethic. And so I would kind of slip by and say, oh, okay, well, I think we're really done. I've done my spotlight. I'm done for the month. Oh, no, Estelle. Nope. You need 5 tips, not 1 tip. You need 5 tips. And you need to do the questions at the end of the chapter. And you need this and you need that. Oh, no, I'll never, ever, ever get done. But because as a collaborator, she pushed me and pushed me and pushed me to, do the extra mile. It would not have happened. We came up with, enough blog posts to, start the foundation of the book. And then the book in turn became the foundation for the podcast, and each one goes beyond the other, so they're like building blocks as well.